Hi there, thanks for joining me today. My name is Miss Tiffany and I work at the Kokomo Public Library. Today we're going to make a basketball shooter. If you live in Indiana, you probably like basketball. A lot of people in Indiana like basketball. So today we're going to make a basketball shooter for March Madness. You're going to need craft sticks, large if possible, straws, like drinking straws, pipe cleaners, a small cup, a ping pong ball, and glue or glue dots. You can also create a net by using some yarn or string. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is create the part that shoots the ball. So we're going to stack up 9 popsicle sticks together, and we're going to wrap a rubber band on each end to keep them together. Just like that. For the part that we're going to put the ball on to make it shoot, we're going to put 2 rubber bands on. You want to make sure that when you put the rubber bands on this one that they're overlapping. You need 2. You could probably use more if you felt like you needed more depth, but 2 should be fine. Just like that. All right. So before we continue, I'm going to take my mini cup with the ping pong ball in it, and I'm going to glue it to the launcher stick. Now if you don't have a glue dot, if you didn't pick up your kit from the library, or you just don't have any, you could also use glue. I like to use a glue dot because it's less messy and it's fast. You don't have to wait for it to dry. So when you're putting that glue dot on, you're just going to press really hard. If you have something flat that's not sharp, like I have scissors, but that could cut it. We don't want to do that. So just take it and press and press and press. And basically it's ready when you can easily peel the film off. Not ready yet. So we're just going to keep going. You know what? We can probably use these other craft sticks. And I'm just trying to press it down to get that glue dot to stick. Let's see if that worked. If you have trouble like I'm having, what you can do is take the little plastic part that's on top and peel it, start to peel it back. When you feel that glue dot coming up with this paper or this plastic, then you can take your nail and scrape it off of the plastic there so that it will stay on the craft stick. This one is being very difficult, but that's okay. We'll work through it. There we go. All right, so there's my glue dot. All right. So then we just put our cup on the top of that glue dot, and press really firmly, and it should stay. Now it will come off pretty easily. You can sort of see how it is right there. But it should work for a few trial runs. All right, so there's that part all done. Next, we're gonna make a basket. So when you're playing basketball, you know, there's a hoop and it has a net. So you can make a net if you want to put around your net, but it is very tricky. I tried and decided it wasn't really worth the time, but maybe you have more time or your fingers are better at tying little knots than mine are. Either way, you can do that if you want to. So next we're going to use our pipe cleaners and our straws. So to make the basket, we're going to make a circle. I already have one here that's made up. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. You can see mine is sort of deformed a little bit, but that's okay. That's not going to affect it. The size doesn't really matter. You can try it a lot of different ways. The main thing is that your ping pong ball will fit. If your ping pong ball won't fit, then you won't be able to make a basket. All right, so we have our basketball net right here. I mean our hoop, not our net, but our hoop. And now we're ready to make the frame. So I've made this a couple of times before, and I use the pipe cleaners inside the straws to make it so that, well, one, we don't have to use any glue because pipe cleaners can twist onto themselves, but also it makes it rigid. I really like that the rigidity that the pipe cleaners give. One thing I would say is I tried it with a full-size straw. It's really difficult. Maybe you can do it and you should try it if you want to. But what I ended up doing was cutting them smaller so that way the basketball hoop is going to be a little bit closer to the table. Now if you want to be adventurous and you want to try a whole one, there are enough straws in your kit that you can do that. Otherwise, you're going to need scissors so that you can cut them. All right, so I'm going to take my first pipe cleaner and I'm going to thread it through the straw, just like that. Basically, what I'm doing right now is I'm making the base. So if the hoop is here, we need something to hold the hoop up. There are a lot of different ways you can do this. You don't have to use straws and pipe cleaners. You could use cardboard or whatever. But we're just going to thread these on. You want to try to make sure the straw, each straw section is approximately the same length. It doesn't necessarily have to be exact. So you can see we already have one corner. All right, so we can't quite do that. Maybe I'll move this one down a little bit to try and make it a little bit easier. There we go. So we have part of our square. We just need one more straw. Okay, I'm missing my long straw. There we go. All right, so again, we're just gonna thread it through the straw. Now at this point you can cut your pipe cleaners so that they fit more precise on your goal, on your basketball goal. But you don't have to because they do twist together like on the hoop. we can just twist them together. So that's up to you. If you want to cut them, you can. So if you see here, I'm just taking this pipe cleaner and this pipe cleaner, and I'm going to join them together. It's like a twist tie. You're just going to twist them. And you just twist them until you feel like they're nice and secure. Alright, so we have one more section to make our square. Just want to get that as tight as possible so it's a good foundation for our basketball hoop. Alright, I think I'm going to cut this part off because I think it's going to get in the way. Alright, so there's that part. Next we need the part that's actually going to hold on to the net. Now, again, you can make these any size you want to. I'm going to make mine fairly short because I'm hoping that'll make it easier for me to make a basket. But I don't know if that's true. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, this one's going to be a little bit trickier. We're going to go ahead and thread on the straw like we did before. And you're just going to pick a corner, and I'm going to use this corner because it's right in front of me, and I'm going to twist this pipe cleaner around this corner, and basically around those pipe cleaners that are there. It gets a little tricky when the pipe cleaners don't want to cooperate, but if you keep working with it, you'll get it. Alright, so there's one. Looks kind of funny with this hanging out, but we'll take care of that in a minute. Again, we're going to thread one on, and then we're going to loop it around another corner. Twist it together. One thing I like to do is this end, sometimes it's pretty sharp, so I like to put it inside the straw just to keep it out of the way, so I don't have to worry about poking myself. So if you have that problem, you can do that as well. Alright, we have 2 corners down. We have 2 more to go. Alright, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to thread it on into the straw, and we're going to wrap it around the pipe cleaner on a corner. And twist. And then again, I'm just going to cover up that end with the straw. Oops. Here we go. Alright, we have one left. I ran out of small straws. Let's see. Well, that's okay. We'll just cut another one. Again, they don't have to be exact, but you do want them fairly close. That way, the rim of your basket is as level as possible. So once again, we're going to thread it through. We're going to take this, wrap it around the pipe cleaner. And then we're going to wrap it around itself like a twist tie. And then we're going to cover up a knot in my pipe cleaner here. There we go, that's better. And then we're going to just again hide the pointy part inside the straw. All right, so you can sort of see what we got right now. We have a square, and each of the corners on the square have a pipe cleaner and a straw going up. And these are the pipe cleaners that are going to attach here. Now there are a lot of ways you can attach this. It's really up to you, whatever works for you. I think the easiest way is to wrap the pipe cleaners around the hoop like we've done before. It does make the hoop a little bit thicker just because of all the wrapping, but I don't think that that's going to be a problem with our tests. All right, so I'm just going to slide it on to my place over here, and I want it approximately right on top of this short straw. And I'm just going to wrap it around. I'm probably only going to wrap it a couple of times at first just to make sure it's where I want it to be. So then I'm going to take this one, and the reason I'm choosing the opposite quarter is I'm hoping it will help it stand and make it a little more durable while we're working on it. Alright, so what I'm finding out, actually I think that's going to work okay. So I'm just going to keep wrapping. Okay, just ignore these big pieces that are hanging out over here. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do this one. Again, we want it to be pretty much right on top of that straw. And we're going to twist. Alright, we have one left. And again, we're going to, oops, I got the wrong pipe cleaner. We're going to take the hoop and basically set it on top of that straw. And we're going to wrap it around a few times. Alright, so at this point, there are a few things you can do. You can make it a little more personal by, adding the net, like I said. You could add the net. You can cut these pieces off. You can wrap them around. It's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. Just keep in mind that you want to make sure that your ping pong ball will fit through your hole. So I'm going to go ahead and wind these around just because it's a little bit easier than cutting them. One thing I like about wrapping the excess wire or the excess pipe cleaner around is because it does make it a little bit more sturdy. So especially if you're going to do a few tests today, and then next week you're going to do a few, and next month you're going to do a few, then it's going to last longer because it has so much wire wrapped around. So I'm just going to keep going, just like that. It takes a little bit of time, so if you're on a time crunch or you're in a hurry, then yeah, you can go ahead and cut these off. You don't need to wrap them around as much. It's not essential. Alright, so I have 2 pipe cleaners left. And again, we're just going to wrap and wrap the way we've been doing. So I'd love to know how many of you play basketball, either on a team or outside or in the playground. If you just like to watch it on TV, leave a comment so that we can see what you, if you like basketball. are so close to being able to test this. The testing part is the fun part. Well, it's a little more fun. All right, we're getting close. So we've got one more. It's sort of crooked if you look at this side right here. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. Most likely my straw is a different size there. That's just a guess though. So we're just going to wrap. Don't forget when you're working on this, whether you're testing and you're playing with basketball or you're just wrapping like I am doing, the ends are very pointy and they can hurt. They can really poke you, so be careful. Ask an adult for help if you need help. All right, I think we're ready. Let me put these supplies away and I'll be right back and we'll do some testing. So this is going to get really interesting because I'm going to have to chase my ball if it doesn't go in. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and line up the stick with the basket. So you can put the basket anywhere just as long as the sticks are kind of lined up. And whoops. So you're going to use this double rubber band here to help hold onto the ball. And basically what we're going to do, okay, see how that works? We're going to hit this and it's going to launch the ball hopefully into the net. And when you do this, there is a sheet in your kit. You can keep record if you want to. But I would suggest that if you do it multiple times, that you try to change some of the variables. A variable is just something that you can change. So you can change the height of the straws. You can change where you put this rubber band, this double rubber band. You can choose where you put the cup for the ball. There are a lot of things that you can change. They're totally up to you. And we'd love to see what you come up with. If you try to change some variables and you want to share, please feel free to do that in the comments or notify us on Facebook and we'll go from there. All right, I'll be honest, I'm a little worried. But I'm lined up. Where do you think it's gonna go? The trajectory is the arc of where the ball is going to go. So I'm hoping that this is a good trajectory. All right, are you ready? Here we go. So that didn't work, but that's okay. That just means we get to try again. No big deal. All right, so I think what I'm going to do this time is turn the table so that I can increase the distance between my basket and my shooter. All right, what do you think? Is this going to be a better trajectory? The ball is going to go. Maybe a little more. All right, whoops, don't fall. All right, well, let's try it one more time. I would love for you to try it more when you're at home and you have the time. And we'd love to hear how it goes. Here we go. This is our last try. Nope, Still didn't work, but that's okay. It was a lot of fun trying. So think about the variables that you can change to make your ball go into the hoop. Thank you so much for joining us today, making our basketball hoop for March Madness. I hope you really enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.